Hello, good morning. Welcome to Joy News Desk. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle. Coming up this morning, early morning rains in Accra leaves hundreds of commuters stranded in the capital as flood waters take over their traveling routes. Also this morning, 2024 general elections is not going to be a walk in the park. Incumbent MP for West Central, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, warns as he calls for support from all and sundry to put their shoulders to wheel as they seek to wrestle power from the NPP. Details from the just-ended primaries. We have business and more coming up this morning. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do stay for details. Early morning rains in the capital city Accra has left hundreds of commuters stranded in various parts of town. The rain, which started a little after 6 a.m., has caused floods and jammed traffic. A number of people heading to their offices via public and private transport this morning have been stuck on their way. JoyNews' Carlos Caloni was at the 37 area in Accra and has filed this report.
At the 37 bus stop, you can see as many stranded here due to the this early morning downpour. You can see workers, you can also see school children who have been stuck here due to the rain, and public vehicles are not coming, the truckers are not coming for hours. Many have been stranded here due to this particular downpour.
My name is Albert, and I'm on my way to cycle though, but then for the past 15 minutes now, I'm waiting at 37 just to take a ride to cycle. It's not been a good situation though, but then here we are.
It has actually delayed our process because I left the house around 6 something. I've been waiting here to take a car to Accra. But because of the rain, I couldn't be able to move because of the rain. And I think that because of this hat here, it's actually helped. But some places when I was coming, they don't actually have hats like that. This one I'm standing on. They actually stand on by the tree, but when it's raining, it's not good to stand under the tree. So it's better for them to provide some hat like this one.
I've been here for about 5 minutes. The rain has not worried me a lot, because I have to get to school before 8 o'clock, so I'm not that worried. And I know most of my friends won't come today, so I'm not that worried at all.
Well, the downpour has really impacted journey to work, because as you can see, most of the cars they are not even full, you see, and then it makes it even difficult to find a car first of all. So the rain has made it very difficult to get to work. In this particular instance, I think most drainage systems here are not really efficient, because in as much as there are guys around, you can still see that the road is still flooded, and it makes it difficult getting to work. And it's because if there were we make it to work, that would have been much more convenient for us as workers. So yeah, that's how I can say the rain has impacted us, and we eventually ran late for work, and I think that would be understandable by everyone. From the 37 bus stop here in Accra, my name is Carlos Caloni for Joy News.
Let's get on to the NDC's primaries that ended this weekend. Incumbent Member of Parliament for the West Central constituency, Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpo, is reminding his party members that the 2024 general election is not going to be a child's play. He's calling for the support of all and sundry, including parliamentary aspirants who have lost their bet, to rally behind him for victory. Dr. Pelpo polled 871 out of 1,807 valid votes to beat former Chief Executive Officer of the Food and Drugs Authority, Alhaji Hudu Mokhtari, lawyer Wahid Bampuri Idrisu, and lawyer Abubakar Mutiu Rahman. JoyNews' Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
It is an election machine retrofitted every 4 years to easily win the West Central parliamentary primaries, though always struggles before he wins the general elections. Dr. Rashid Hassan Pelpo, for a safe time, had his name on the ballot paper.
I think that 19 years is a starting point for many people, and for myself, it is the ultimate. I mean, I've gotten to the climax of what I want to do to my people or for my people. I've gotten to the climax, and I know I will yield better fruits than ever before.
A total of 1,807 delegates decided the fate of the 4 aspirants and the closed uniform and plainclothes police protection. Among the males of delegates at the World Technical Institute Auditorium are stalwarts and senior members of the party at the national level, including National Chairman of the Council of Elders and former Defense Minister in the Rawlings administration, Alhaji Idrisu Mahama. All 4 aspirants, with the exception of lawyer Wahidu Bampori Idrisu, who was not yet ready to speak to us, were satisfied with the voting process and predicted victory for themselves.
I've been through a lot of elections, and you can sense victory when it's coming. I can feel it. I feel the excitement in the room. I see people looking at me and beaming with smiles, which means they are ready to give the mandate to us.
Well, I think the process is smooth, and I am confident that at the end of the day, I will be proclaimed the victor.
After 8 hours of voting with few disagreements, the ballots were sorted out and results declared for the presidential and parliamentary primaries by the 1 municipal electoral officer of the Electoral Commission, Ben Anagulu.
Candidate John Dramani Mahama polled 1,712 votes. Candidate Kojo Bonsu polled 49 votes. Kobna Dufo, 0. The first candidate is candidate Hudu Buktari. He polled 708 votes, representing 39.6 votes percent. Candidate number 2, candidate Abdul Rashid H. Pelpo, polled 871 votes, representing 48.7%. Candidate number 3, candidate Wahib Bampore Idrisu, polled 104 votes, representing 5.8%. Candidate number 4, Abubakari Mutio Rahman, polled 91 votes, representing 5.1%.
Dr. Rashid Pelpo was magnanimous in victory.
It is victory not just for me, but to all of us. It is victory for NDC. We are now having the flag in front of me, with all of them working with me. I believe very strongly that 2024 is not going to be a child's play. We will work together to win it as well. The candidates who contested me, I want to extend my gracious admiration for them. I want to say that it is not a loss for them.
There was no space for a consensus speech, but for lawyer Abubakar Mutiu Rahman, this is the first time and he's not perturbed about results. He assured the supporters that he will be back next time round.
That is the very essence of electoral politics, that you either win or you lose. But I keep saying that I will return again. The fight isn't over. At least this is the first time I have come into this contest. But if we go around town, the consensus is that Lawyer Mutiu is would have been the suitable candidate for the parliamentary elections 2024 for the NDC. So if I have succeeded in building this consensus around town, it means that I have won at least the battle. Maybe the war is that which I couldn't win.
An election that was built to be make or break for the NDC was central. replete with high tension, rather ended on a dull fad.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Well, Ibrahim Adams Mumuni, an aspirant in the Boem constituency who contested Kofi Adams in the NDC primaries and lost by 13 votes, alleged financial inducement from his competitor prevented him from winning the day. According to him, his opponent gave out more than he did to enable the incumbent Kofi Adams to carry the day. Although he has admitted giving out what he calls transportation, he believes spending on delegates just to remain in power is denying honest and committed individuals from engaging in politics. Mumuni Adams has been speaking to Oti regional correspondent Peter Seno.
The race to parliament on the ticket of the NDC in the Oti region has seen 2 of 8 members of parliament kicked out by delegates. In the Kratchi West constituency, Helen Intuso has been retained by delegates. Kratchi Inchumuru's Solomon Kuyon was also retained. In the Nkwantan North and South constituencies, Otibles and Geoffrey Kinney were also retained. However, there were 2 casualties in the region. Kratchi East constituencies Wisdom Gedisu and Biakuye's Abuaji Nyampon have been rejected by delegates. Biakuye constituency now has a female candidate, Jean-Marie Fomadi, and Nelson Kofi Jabab for Kratchi East. Fred Kwesi Agbanyu also won for the yet-to-be-created constituency for Guan. And one more candidate who won on the brinks is Kofi Adams for Boem constituency. He pulled 444 votes to win, a winning margin of just 11 votes. In the Akan constituency, where delegates have decided for years now to terminate MPs after one term in office, Engineer Yao Gomado broke the jinx, this time to contest for a second term. He pulled 448 votes to beat 2 other contenders, Nana Dabo and Ahmed Muniru. The former MP, Aziz Muniru, who was kicked out by delegates after one term, said the practice has not helped the constituency. He asked for support for whoever emerged the winner.
Parliamentary attrition is very high in Ghana. It is not so much of a problem depending on the candidate being presented. If you have an MP who is a continuing MP, it helps because of the parliamentary memory that that candidate might reserve. What I would suggest is we should always come up with the best candidate, and when the candidate performs, we should retain him. If we think he does not perform, we should kick him out. Just like they thought I was not performing very well, I was kicked out. If he is elected, we will still give him the support. But if he doesn't get it, I know he will also support whomever will come out victorious.
Before the end of polls, the calm engineer cast his votes without the usual support from delegates. But he indicated he was going to win the day.
But you are confident that by close of polls, engineer Yao Gomado is winning the contest?
Oh yes. Can't we see what is going on? During our campaign, it tells that I'm going to win. That's what I told you earlier on, that I know that I'm going to win this race.
It did happen, and now calling on all to come on board to support the party for victory in the 2024 general elections.
Let me take the opportunity to first of all thank the delegates. I appreciate them so much, and this decision taken must be respected. My other opponents or contestants, I want to take this opportunity to appeal to them to come forward so that we work together to win the 2024 election. It is not me, it is not anybody, but it is the party. This is democracy, and this is the voice of the delegate, which must be respected. Therefore, I'm inviting all of them to come to the floor so that we work towards victory 2024.
Peter Sanu for JoyNews.
Away from the NDC, cataract, an eye condition that leads to blindness, has been identified as a prevalent disease in the Volta region. This was identified during a series of eye screening exercises organized by the Rotary Club of Ho. In line with this, the club has made known its intention to construct an eye clinic to make optical care accessible to residents to treat various conditions.
According to data collated by Rotary Club during its eye screening exercises across the Volta region, cataract topped the chart of diseases identified. It also noted that patients suffering the condition lack access to proper care, as facilities in the region are not well equipped to treat them. An optometrist and the district governor of Rotary District 7815, Dr. Havibaz, underscored the importance of providing special care for persons suffering from eye conditions.
It has been identified that cataracts are the biggest cause of blindness in Ghana, and cataracts are actually the easiest thing to fix as long as we have the proper equipment. So far what I've seen a lot of cataracts. I had a couple of cases of glaucoma so far, but speaking with the surgeons that work here, it's limited to how much they can treat these things, and we need to provide the service to the people of this region instead of making them travel hours away and
Management of the Gbeko Senior High School in the Adaklu district of the Volta region has lamented challenges of the school. According to the headmaster Matthew Mensah Tomori Fiano, the challenges, which include the lack of ICT, logistics, teacher accommodation, and bad access roads, are affecting academic activities and student performance. There's more in the report filed by Fred Kwame Sari.
The Gbeko Senior High School, established in 2019, sits at the base of the Adaklu Mountain in the Adaklu district of the Volta region. The Category C school was established in one of the E blocks constructed under the John Mahama administration, with the Akufo-Addo government adding boys and girls dormitories and other ancillary facilities. The school's access road is yet to be constructed, compelling the school to rely on an unapproved route created by the contractor. The school also lacks teachers' accommodation, ICT, and library logistics. The headmaster, Matthew Mensah Fianu, outlined some challenges of the school at the Student Representative Council Week celebrations.
There are a myriad of challenges facing the school. Number one is the access road to campus. When it rains, one cannot access the school. The access road is therefore very paramount to us. We as a school tried in our own small way to raise funds to see to the road, but alas, we came to our wit's end because it is capital intensive. 95% of staff members commute from home daily to school, even though some seek to rent in the communities around, but it's difficult to find accommodation.
The road leading to the school is very poor. Due to that, when it rains, students find it difficult to come to school. So every rainy day becomes a holiday to the students. This discourages many parents from bringing their children into the school.
The ICT lab is not finished. We have only one desktop and we are about 250 in the school. We can't all be using one desktop at a time. So we are pleading on the government to help us with computers and library books.
The Volta Regional Director of Education, Francis Yao Agbemadi, entreated the community to support the government to develop the school.
You are encouraged to own the school and mobilize resources to develop it. We should not be lost on the community of the school, that the school exists to help train its youth into responsible adults, and therefore the community should be able to commit resources to this end.
Togbe Edem III of Adaklu Chepe promised to construct the access road linking the school to the main road should the government fail to do so by December 2023.
Well, it's a rainy morning. Let's go back to our flood situation in Accra, because the situation is not different in Dansoman and its environs. through to Kaneshie. JoyNews' Jacqueline Yeboah was caught in the floods around the stretch and joins us live with more. Jacqueline, what exactly did you observe where you were?
In the morning, the rain began gradually intensifying. In addition to traffic and flooding at the Dansuman Junction on the way to Kaneshie, some cars became stranded along the way, and nobody even offered to help those cars. And cars couldn't navigate because of the potholes, adding to the jam. And school children and others who use the path have also been left stuck because they have no choice except to go through the inundated areas or wait for the flood to subside.
So which areas have been worse affected? I mean, I'm talking about on your way to work.
Okay, so we have Dakuman and Dansuman Junction, First Light, and also on your way from Kaneshie to Circle was flooded. All
right, Jacqueline and Sumaya Boa with that for us. We've been joined, thankfully, by the Matthew Agency, an officer from the Matthew Agency, Papa Ni Kletch. He joins us now. Grateful for your time, Papa Ni. How long are we to endure this rain?
Okay, good morning to your listeners. Let me say that this rain, we are going to experience this rain till after 12 noon. The clouds will dissipate and then we'll have some relief.
I'm seeing your alert or warning after the rain. Shouldn't this have been? Shouldn't you have released this earlier before the rain to warn people?
No, that is not factual. We came out with the warning at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. this morning. We came out with a weather warning, so it is not after the rain. We give it out before
5 a.m. Most people may be in bed, or if you are up, you are quickly preparing for work. Couldn't you have released this probably last night so that people will be warned, ahead of time?
Yeah, we couldn't do that. The right time was the 5 a.m. because we still tracking the storm. We observed this storm emanating from Togo. That is around 4:30. That is 4:30 a.m. this morning. And we have to make sure that the storm will hit the country before we give out the weather warning.
So are we going to see more of this in the coming days? Tell us about the weather pattern.
Yes, as you can remember, on the 10th of March, we came out with our seasonal forecast and we indicated that the rain for this year will be a little lower than what we experienced last year. And we've given the timeline. What is going to happen now is that presently the rain is being experienced in Aflau, Kita, Panduhu, and its environment. And then it stretched to Adantema, Accra. And then presently we are having it in Sopon, Winnipeg, Afua, Apam, Sopon, that is Sakrade, Azim, and its environment. The middle portion also is experiencing the rain, that is Kuforubia, Akiman, Modern, stretching down to the Bono region, the Chiman, Sunyani, and then the Volta region. Even portions of the northern portions of the country is also experiencing the rainfall. So this is how the pattern will be like. Getting to the evening, we'll have some relief, and then from tomorrow, but 3 days after tomorrow, we may have another storm.
And in terms of months, how long are we going to endure the rains?
Yes, we are still in the raining season. So the peak of the raining season is July. So we are going to have it till July. But let me say that there will be some dry spells. That is periods that wouldn't have any rain, and that would be about 7 days within the period that I have mentioned.
Well, I'm grateful for your time. Papa Ni Kletch is PRO with the Ghana Matthew Agency. He says that we should embrace ourselves, we should brace ourselves for more rains coming within this week and going throughout to about 3 months, where we will set into the rainy season proper. Let's move on to other stories. They abandoned their work. The course of their lives is disrupted, but mothers would go all length to ensure their children who are sick get the needed help at the expense of their freedom. That's why the First Lady of the Charismatic Evangelist Ministry is urging children to appreciate the efforts of their mothers, regardless how the relationship between them is. She said this after visiting children at the oncology department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, where children with cancer are treated. Hannah Dame has more.
Test when you have blood cancer.
Mavis Equia Aklada is a mother of 11-year-old Kofi, who has been at the oncology department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital for the past 2 years. He has been on chemotherapy for leukemia. His mother says, despite the difficulty she's endured after abandoning her job so she can be with her son, she's fulfilled to see his health progressing. Mavis is one of the many mothers and caregivers here, some of whom have spent the last year or months at the facility taking care of their child with cancer. The Women's Ministry of the Charismatic Evangelistic Ministry, SEM, identified the needs of these mothers and their children and presented them with assorted items, food and money. First Lady of SEM, Reverend Jean Mensah, who further explained the purpose of the gesture, also asked children to appreciate the efforts of their parents, especially mothers.
Children out there, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that you should honor thy father and thy mother, that it may be well with you. No matter what your father or your mother has done, it's not your duty to correct them, to bring them to book, to bring them into alignment. Yours is to honor them. Maybe you don't know it, so we're taking opportunity to tell you this day. Honor them, and it will be well with you.
Principal Nursing Officer at the Child Health Department, Wendy Eya Mensah, shared how beneficial the items presented will help improve healthcare delivery.
We want to say a very big thank you. The mothers are very, very grateful. In fact, to have childhood cancer is not easy. The support, even to think about the basic things, the soap and things they need to even care for their body, let alone even buy medications. So I want to say a very big thank you for these items, and also especially for the money gifts that you also have for them. God richly bless you.
A pediatric ophthalmologist and head of SEM medical team, Dr. Jifao Forieje, advocated for financial assistance for children undergoing chemotherapy.
I think for them, the pressing thing is the chemo drugs. Because if you see a child who cannot afford, and that child needs a drug to be well, to be alive, what do you do? So support in terms of the chemo drugs will be very, very, very key to them.
15-year-old Amedu Fofana, whose mother has been with him at the facility since last year March, when his arm was amputated due to cancer, was so grateful to his mother for all her love.
I want to tell my mother thank you very much. She do for me. Now I'm feeling well. Anything that was said in medication, my mother will go and buy it. So I'll tell him thank you. Mama, thank you. God bless.
We're still live on JoyNews Dex. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle on Fanofa Street. We're live on Go TV and DSTV as well. Let's take a break. When we return, there's more.
Welcome to business. My name is Darrell Powell. President of the Ghana Employers Association, Dan Echampong, has emphasized the need to
promote gender parity in corporate institutions. According to him, convening women leaders from diverse backgrounds to deliberate and act on real opportunities available is key to national development. He spoke to Joy Business at the Ghana Employers Association's annual leadership conference.
The overall aim of this conference is to advance gender parity in the corporate space of Ghana by convening leaders from diverse backgrounds to deliberate and act on the real opportunities available for women and underlining challenges that ought to be surmounted. The conference is also intended to enhance the understanding of the relevance and benefits of gender equity in promoting enterprise growth and to showcase the general contribution of women in the economic and social development of our dear country. I am indeed very happy to share that the 2023 Annual Leadership Conference brings together leading industry players to advance discussions that will foster solidarity and shared responsibility for sustainable solutions on gender equality in the corporate world.
Micro, small and medium enterprises will soon benefit from a 100 million cedi fund under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project. Speaking at the launch of the Women and Youth in MSME program by the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Minister of Trade and Industry Katie Hammond disclosed that 40 million cedis of the amount will be allocated for capacity building, while 60 million will be used to support the youth.
The Ghana Economic Transformation Project, in partnership with the World Bank, is aimed at promoting private investments and firm growth in non-resource-based sectors. The Ghana Enterprises Agency has launched the Women and Youth in MSME program under this project to ensure an all-inclusive approach. Minister for Trade and Industry Katie Hammond gave a breakdown of how the fund allocated to the program will be utilized.
It is significant to know that over the 100 million cedis of grant funding earmarked under the GET project for the two programs that we're launching today, 40 million is allocated as grant for training, capacity upgrading of a high growth, micro, small, and medium scale enterprises owned by women. You're not doing badly at all. While the balance of 60 million cedis is earmarked to support enterprises owned by young persons between the ages of 15, 18, and 35.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Kosi Yankee Aye, explained why this tranche of funding comes with the condition that beneficiaries undergo training.
Our interventions have been to really build capacity and also provide access to funding. The access to funding component is important, but what is most important is the technical assistance capacity that these interventions provide. Over the years, a lot of MSMEs ask only for funding. But looking at the businesses of the youth and women, we think it's necessary and important that technical assistance and capacity development is at the forefront of the trainings and the tools that we provide to build and lift these interventions and businesses. So in this pool of training and support for the women and youth for MSMEs, we will provide training in business and financial management, and this training will assist you to plan and grow your businesses better.
Deputy Finance Minister John Kuma indicated that the launch of the Women and Youth in MSME program is reiteration that government will continue to help small businesses even during challenging times like the country is currently facing.
We live in a world where inclusivity and equal opportunities are paramount. We recognize the immense potential and talent that women and young entrepreneurs possess, and it is our duty to create an environment where their aspirations can thrive. Today, we affirm our commitment to fostering economic growth, reducing unemployment, and driving sustainable development through these vital initiatives.
All right, before we go, a quick update on our IMF economic program. Ghana is expected to receive the first tranche of the cash disbursement this week, following a board approval, which we expect on Wednesday. That story on myjoyonline.com. I want to read bits of it for you. It says the first tranche of monetary installment from the International Monetary Fund to support the country's balance of payment is expected to hit the Bank of Ghana's account this week. Joy Business is learning that the IMF board will approve the cash disbursement as soon as it considers a request for Ghana's program this Wednesday, May 17. Part of the first tranche will come by Friday, March 19, while the remaining should be distributed by June 2023. And so we keep following this story for you. Details in the course of the day as and when information is available. But you can read more on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. The news continues after this break. Do stay tuned.
Welcome back. Let's do more politics. And competitive and chaotic words that best describe the NDC primaries at Ningo Pram, where Sam George beat Michael Kwete. Joseph Akablay was there and now reports.
In victory. Sure. That's it. There's nothing more to add. It's going to be a resounding victory. It's like I've said earlier on. It's a battle between light and darkness, and I've never seen anywhere where darkness has prevailed over light.
How many football clubs have you seen that when they have a match and you ask them, they tell you, yes, I'm going to lose? He's going to lose it.
The Ningo Pram race was always going to be competitive. First, because the constituency has always been won by the NDC. This means the winner of the internal contest was almost certainly parliament bound. The previous contest in 2019 between Sam George and Michael Kwete was settled by 7 votes. The two were confident of victory.
The margin between the NDC and the NPP in Ningo Pram was a mere 3,000, just 3,000. Okay, that's how close it was. In 2015, when I became parliamentary candidate, 1 year of working, we moved it to 10,000 in 1 year in 2016. And in 2020, we moved it to 30,000. So when you take my report card as a member of parliament, every 4 years, from 3,000 to 30,000, it goes without saying that the people can only reward you with their votes if you work for them.
And you know, this is politics, and it's just like a war. So when you are going for war, you employ all sorts of strategies. So it is part of my strategy to do a few things in the house before coming on the ground. And that was it.
I mean, the last time the difference in the votes was just 7 votes. Does that give you confidence that this time around you'll be able to emerge victorious?
Yeah, exactly so. You know, as you are saying, this is not the first time I'm contesting. And last time I contested, the difference was 7 in favor of Honorable Sam George. Now, don't also forget that there were 27 others who participated and voted in the presidential primaries, but they were prevented from voting in the parliamentary, and all those 27 were my supporters, which means that if they were to be allowed to vote, I would have won by 20 votes.
Voting commenced around 8 a.m. MP Sam George had alleged a sponsored plot was set to be implemented to scuttle the polls.
Because the other side, we had intelligence, the police as well, and don't forget, the police also got us intelligence. We had intelligence we shared with the police.